Hi everyone. We're going to do a yin yoga class today, concentrating on the liver meridians. So the liver meridians run on the insides of the legs, as well as the outside, or the gallbladder runs out on the lateral edge of the body here. So basically that means we're going to be working the inside and the outside of the legs and the hips. Okay, if you're not very flexible, it's helpful to have a chair for some of these poses. I'm going to scoot this down out of the way. The other thing you need is a stack of blankets. I have a bolster and a blanket, but a stack of blankets will do. Towels, okay. The other thing, if you have a strap, the strap would be great. Preferably one that has a buckle, but it's not necessary. If you just need a belt or a rope, that's fine as well. Let's see. So today's class, I'm sort of migrating towards classes for the stiffer people. However, any person can get benefit out of this practice. But yin yoga, we tend to hold the poses for quite a long time, and they're all supported on the floor usually. So here's the thing, is in the past I've sort of built my classes up to hold these poses for a certain period of time. So if you're new to this practice and you need to come out, just go ahead and come out. You don't have to stay in there as long as we're going, but once you come out, if you feel like you can come back in, come right back into the position. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. So I've got my notes here. So we're going to begin in a wide knee child's pose. So I like to use a stack of blankets. I'll bring them here and then bring my big toes together and separate my knees as wide as they can go. Okay? Then I'll come slide this in and rest my forehead down. So this is a pretty comfortable position. Okay? If you're not getting the stretch that you want out of the inner thigh, then just come off of the blanket. If you're struggling with knee pain, place a block or a book or a towel between the hips and the heels. Okay? So let's come into the position. I'll start the timer. I have to time these poses, otherwise I tend to want to come out too soon. So let's drop into wide knee child's pose and come into our breath. So our breath, we're expanding the rib cage on the back body. Really expand on the inhale. On the exhale, draw your belly in and up. So if this position is too difficult, you also can bring your chair like such, okay? Your choice. So since we're practicing at home, don't be afraid to use your props. Get comfortable. Okay. Keeping your mind on your breath. So see if you can expand your thoracic rib cage. So that mid-back, really try to expand between the vertebrae. And now remember that the tongue is not collapsing on the roof of your mouth. The tongue is just curled up there, resting behind the two front teeth. So it's easy on forward bends to sort of allow the tongue to flop to the roof of the mouth, but we just need to have the tip of the tongue Okay, on your next inhalation, let's lift. Give the feet a bit of a break. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Now we're going to come into Bakasana. Possibly, I'm going to turn my backside to you, sorry, but I think it's the easiest way to explain it. You're going to bring your big toes together. Then bring your knees as far apart as you can, coming down onto your elbows. Then flexing the feet and pushing the hips behind the knees. So we want the hips back behind the knees. So potentially you may want to stay here, and that's fine. Okay, side view is out, flex the feet, push the hips back. Okay, you're going to feel, it's going to be tight on that groin, especially with any squatting we've been doing. So what I like to do is also use my props here. You can use your blanket or a bolster, but I slide it to the pelvis so I have a little bit of support, and then bring the hips back. Let's see, am I in the camera? I think so. So the important thing here is don't dive in the low back. Really keep the belly firm, and then release your head down. So if you do have your head on something and you're looking to the right, just make sure you look to the left equally. Just trying to stay with your breath. Alright, exhale all of your air. Wait for your inhale. On your inhale, bring your toes together, lift, bring the knees together, remove your prop, coming down onto your forearms, pushing into those elbows and pulling your chest forward and up. Sphinx pose. You may be feeling it if you've been doing a lot of abdominal work. So just have your elbows no wider than your shoulders, but they're slightly in front of your shoulders. And I'm pulling my chest forward and up. But make sure you check in with the back of your neck. The back of your neck is long. Now I'm going to try to relax my glutes here and return to the breath. Relax the neck. Nice deep breath. Stay with your breath. Really try to expand the rib cage, the back rib cage. Okay, we're possibly going to take it a little bit further and coming into seal pose. So my arms are straight here. It's less aggressive the further the arms are out. More aggressive the closer the arms are into the body. So remember, your glutes want to take over, but you need to relax the glutes. Okay, so go into it slowly. And then if you're like, no way, I just can't do it, just come right back into Sphinx. Or possibly you may have to take a break with your forehead on the mat. And that's fine. Stay with your breath. Keep concentrating on the glutes. They need to relax. Relax your shoulders. If you feel tension creeping up in the neck and the shoulder area, come down for Sphinx or take a break. We have 30 more seconds here. Concentrate on the glutes, relax the glutes. You're going to feel a little compression in your low back. That's what we're after here, so it's okay. Alright, and then exhale, come down. So you're going to draw your right or your left leg, it doesn't matter which, bring it up. Stack your forearms and then look in the same direction. So if your left leg is up, you're looking to the left. If your right leg is up, you're going to look to the right. Completely relax. Allow the low back to soften. And now I'm going to bring that left leg under, pull in through the tummy, and push into my hands and lift. Okay, we're going to do a whole series on the right leg, and then we'll come back and do the left leg. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, lift, pigeon. We're going to lift that right leg up. Okay, and then sweep your right knee to your right wrist. So flex your right foot. Bring the left leg straight back, and then exhale, come down. You can rest onto your hands or your props, your blankets, okay? So some of you find that you have knee pain in this one, so you have a few options. You can come to the wall and place your left foot on the wall, and then flex your right foot, and then possibly slide that left foot down the wall. That's an option for you, okay? Nice deep breaths. You lift. If you're still finding that neither of those positions work, you have this option where you come onto a chair, flex your foot, hop it back, and then you can rest your chest on the chair or your forehead, depending on how much pressure your knee can take. Okay? Right? The other thing that you could possibly do is slide something under this hip, the right hip, just to take pressure off of the knee. All right, this is a long hold. So coming into your breath, stay with your breath. If you can at all possible, rest your forehead on something. Rest your forehead on something. Because remember, the resting of the forehead slows the thoughts down in the brain. So we want to try to use these long holds as a sort of like an active meditation. So come back to your breath. Keep your focus on your breath. Relax your shoulders. So you'll feel that hamstring start releasing, and you may need to come down closer to the mat. Once you find that release, come down closer. Your breath should be deep. Okay, wait for your next inhalation. Walk it back in. Good. I'm just going to lean to my right. And then come back to center. So we're going to come into shoelace pose. Remember that you can be up on something. Left leg under, right leg across. So that's an option. Okay. You can come into cross leg position, that's an option as well. But it's alright if you're up like this. If you can just hang in there as you come forward, you're going to get a release in your hip. The other option that you have is you're going to extend out your left leg. However, we are going to do that in about a few minutes. So maybe try one of these other versions. And then if you're still feeling it in your knee, how about going onto your back and coming into this with the strap. Okay, you can also use the wall. Alright, so coming into the position, left leg under, right leg on top. Striving to get that right sits bone down. Then if you're finding that you're pretty open in your hips, you're going to start working this left leg forward so that it's parallel to the long edge of your mat. Coming forward, breathe. Let it go. Wait for your next inhale. You're going to lift. Bring your right hand 6 inches from your hip. Bend your elbow into your rib cage. Bring that left arm out. The palm is up. We're rotating the shoulder away from the ear. As you come up and over, breathe into that left hip. It's going to be intense. If you have something going on in your shoulder, hand behind your head or hand on your hip. Return to your breath. Remember the breath. Remember the hips are very responsive to the breath. So just try to relax. Try to breathe. If you're finding that you can't breathe well and you're feeling tension somewhere, come out. Come in. Maybe not so much in, but deep breaths here. Feeling it in my shoulders, so I'm going to drop the hand behind the head. Alright, then inhale, lifting back up. We're going to try to maintain this position and extend our left leg out. Okay? So if you feel any hyperextension behind your knee, slide something under your knee. Toes and kneecap up, left leg soft. Okay? Remember, you can turn around and be like such. Okay? Nice deep breaths. Relax the spot between the eyebrows. Wait for your inhale. On your next inhalation, we're going to come into a twist. So you can bring the sole of your right foot down, keep that left leg extended, or you can come into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Excuse me. Foot in front of the knee. If your hips hiked up, foot in front of the shin. If you can still go further, you can bring your foot all the way to the mid-thigh, but if that bottom lifts, bring the foot back to where you can keep your bottom down. Lifting up nice and tall, twisting to the right. Remember the twist, you're going to exhale and twist from the belly. The head is just added last. You can hook your elbow if there's no tension in the shoulder, or just hold on. Remember, every inhale we're extending up through the crown of the head, and every exhale twisting in a little deeper. Don't crank on the head is just added last. Waiting for your inhale. Once you find your inhale, you're going to come back forward. All right, let's go ahead and release. We're going to bring our feet out in front. So, oops, I can't go forward. So it's about 1.5 feet from your bottom to your heel, okay? But your legs are wide enough that, and your toes are pointed upward, that when you drop your knees, your knee doesn't touch your foot. We'll inhale left, over to the left, whew, and back up, over to the right. So I'm really feeling the tightness in my IT bands just from that little wild run yesterday. So nice deep breaths. If you feel it tugging on the inside of the knee, maybe not go all the way down, okay? Just side to side, feet are flexed. Good, and now we're going to come back up. So we're going to do that whole series on this left side. Okay, so let's see. Remember, you have options. We're coming into pigeon pose. I'll demonstrate that so the people that know it can already get into it. Inhale, lift that left leg. Bring your left knee to your left wrist. Flexing that left foot. Try to keep the hips in line with each other instead of this. Okay, so hips in line. And then exhale, come all the way down. You can be down on the mat as well. You can have your head on your chair, okay? You can also be like such. Flexing this foot, possibly bringing that right foot down or just staying here. If your chin is pointed up, though, place something under your head. Next option is possibly this guy. Okay, make sure you really hold the chair down, sweep that left leg up. And you can also be on your couch for this one as well. And just rest the forehead down. So coming into your position, finding your breath. Hopefully resting your forehead on something, just to slow the thoughts down. Just the tip of the tongue is behind the two front teeth. Breathing in and out of the nose. I'm starting to feel it release, so I'm going to come down a little bit lower. Okay, wait for your inhale. Coming all the way up, tucking your toes. Well, actually, I'm just going to shift over to the left and sweep that right leg around. Okay, so just coming into a seated position, coming into shoelace or half Gomukhasana on the other side. So left leg over. Remember, your bottom can be sitting up on something. You could be on your back. Be on your back with that left leg crossing like such. Okay. You can also be against the wall. Just try to bring the leg on over though. It's not ankle on quad, but bring your leg over as far as you can. Let's see, come into a cross-legged position. Or you could extend the leg forward and bring the left leg across, but we will be doing this one in a minute. So all your versions there. Coming into the position. If you're more flexible, feet come away from the hips. No knee pain. If you need to, bring the foot back in. All right, I think that's enough talking. Exhale, come forward. I always like to rest my head on something, so I won't do it because the chair will be right in your face. But if you have a chair, rest your head. Okay, wait for your next inhalation. You're going to lift. Place your left hand 6 inches from your hip, or it can be on your chair. Okay? Bring the right hand out, up and over. If you have any shoulder pain, just bring the hand behind the head, or potentially you could just have the hand straight up or the hand on your hip. Nice deep breaths. Sometimes this gets into that right hip. Okay? Sometimes it's mostly in this lat. But remember, no knee pain in that bottom leg. If the IT bands are tight, sometimes you'll feel it pulling on the inside of that leg. So try to find a position where it's not pulling on the inside of your knee. Okay, good job. Inhale, lifting up. And now let's come into half shoelace pose. So we'll extend the bottom leg. If you feel pressure behind that bottom knee, your right knee, just slide something under. Alright. So the top leg should be soft. Again, you can have your chair here if you need it. So use all your props. So that's the good thing about doing your practice at home. You have lots of choices, right? Just stay with me though. I know it gets a bit difficult staying present with these long holds, but each time your mind strays, just come back to your breath. Try to think about softening in the hips. It's only for, 45 minutes to an hour. I can't remember how long this one is. So it's not very long. So CrossFit and working out is the yang. This is the yin. So if we do too much yang, we get deficient in the yin, get too tight. If we do too much yin, we become too flexible in the joints. So we need the yang and we need the yin. So just stay with it. Wait for your inhale. We're going to lift. We're coming into our twist, so you might just want to stay in this position. If you can come into full Ardha Matsyendrasana, then you'll be like such with the leg under, okay? You can also bring the leg across, but bottom stays down. Lifting up nice and tall. You can hook the elbow or just hold on to the elbow. Try to plant your left hand as close as you can to your bottom. Lift out through the crown of the head and twist in a little bit deeper. Okay, coming in a little deeper. Don't crank on the neck. Very good. Inhale, come back to center. So we're going to come into square pose. Oh, let's just release the hips a little bit. So windshield wipers, legs out, toes up. Exhale, drop down. Keep the feet flexed. Over to the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left. All right, now let's come into square pose. You can always prop yourself up on something, okay? That left leg is flexed out in front of you, right leg on top. If your knee's up in the air, slide something under your knee, okay? Just to give it a little bit of release on that knee so you're not hanging off of that knee, okay? So for the people that find it hard to cross their legs, you have a couple of options. You can bring the soles of your feet together, but bring them in close. And then when we switch sides, I want you to bring your feet away from you, okay? All right, so square pose. You can have your hips up on something. The other option that you do have is coming on your chair. Coming onto your chair, flexing your foot, placing it here, and coming forward. That's an option. Okay. All right, then inhale, lifting up. Let's just twist briefly. Look over that right shoulder, twisting to the right. And then coming back to center. Go right into the other side. Use one of the variations that I just presented. All right, flex that foot. Exhale, come forward. Excuse me. Relax the back of your neck. Breathe into your hips. If your ankles are crossed, make sure your feet are away from your body. If you're one of the people that have the feet together and you're in close, now you're going to bring your feet further away. Remember, you can always use the chair. Sit in the chair and just place this left ankle on the right quadricep. Waiting for your inhale. Let's go ahead and lift. Oh, bring the legs out in front. You can pop the knees a little bit. All right, so we're going to end with Supta Baddha Konasana. It's one of my favorite poses. So if you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. If you don't, just stack up your blankets. And you're also going to grab your strap. So if you stack up your blankets and you sit down and your head's hanging off the back, you know you need to place something like a book or something on the end. Longer torso people need a little bit more length there. Okay, if you lie onto your back and your chin is pointed up to the ceiling, you know you need a stack of blankets under your head. Okay, so the back of the neck should be long. Now the next thing is if you're lucky enough to have a strap, I like to use a strap. You don't have to. Okay. All right, Marlene. I know you're gonna need help with this one. So you bring the strap around your waist. So you take the strap through both the rings and then back through one. Okay. So the strap goes on the inside of the feet. Then you're gonna bring it around. So we're on the inside. You'll bring the buckle away from your ankle so it's not on your ankle. Then you're going to come back. You'll place the strap on the top part of your glutes. Okay, so it's not on your low back. It's the top part of the glutes. Go ahead and tighten up the strap. But keep in mind when you come back, it's going to get tighter. So the idea here is that it pulls your pulls the glutes down and lengthens this low back. Okay, so coming all the way back. If you have pain, support your knees. If you have pain in the knees, let me take the time machine here. Whew. Nice deep breaths. If you can, bring your hands out with the palms up. Chin is tucking towards the chest. I love this pose. Nice deep breaths. Just let it go. You can let your Ujjayi breath go now. Just breathe as you normally would. Let's just treat this as Shavasana. I really like this supported pose here. If you need to take a couple of breaths out through the mouth, feel free to do that. Relax the spot between the eyebrows here. Relax your shoulders. Feel the support of your bolsters. returning to your breath. You can deepen your breath. You can grab the edges of your mat. Make sure you pull your belly in as you lift. And then go ahead and take your strap off. And let's just have a release of not child's pose, what is that pose? Happy baby pose. So you'll be on your back. Just going to come onto your back, bring your knees on either side of your rib cage. I like to roll from side to side, but if your back feels unstable, don't do it. Just keep drawing the knees down. You can always grab behind the hamstrings. Just take a moment, praise yourself for taking the time to stretch out the body, to take care of your body. As well as the mind. All right, release the feet down. You can roll to the left-hand side or the right, your choice. Come into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to your heart. Shoulders down. You can feel, sometimes you feel a bit of warmth, heat in the low back. The energy's flowing there. It's a nice feeling. All right. I wish you peace, happiness, and good health. Namaste. Be safe.